What is up, everybody? All right. I got to do this. I don't think there's anyone in here. But if there is, I need to know if my audio is good. All right. Good deal. Let me go to doc so I can see the chat. All right. Also, I just switched. I didn't really switch, but I made some changes to the camera. So I did a live stream last week, or this past Sunday, and the camera was pretty shitty. So hopefully this one's better. It's hard to tell because it looks good on my end, but I can't see what it looks like how you're seeing it on your phone. Well, we actually have a pay-per-view this weekend, so that's pretty sweet. I'll pull up the tail of tape for UFC 301. I mean, Urseg against Pantoja, not exactly a barn-burning main event, but it certainly beats not having a pay-per-view, right? I don't even know how many fights this guy has in the UFC right now. Well, he's 12-1 professionally, but he's coming off a 5-fight win streak. I just think, Pantoja's going to be too much for him. And then Jose Aldo's the co-main event. I don't know. I'll still be watching it, though. What's going on, bro? How does the video look? See, that's why I need you in here. Nice. How's that? Better? Well, so the video does look better than it did Sunday. Good. Honestly, more than anything else, that's the main reason I went live today. I didn't think I would have time to do anything, but I have 30, 40 minutes here, so I figured I'd hop on, try to do a live stream all by myself without you holding my hand, and here we are. And I did turn the mic up a little bit, so does that sound better? Other than that, how's your Tuesday going? I've certainly had worse Tuesdays. So, like I said, pulling up Tapology. We go through some of these fights. I mean, Anthony Smith is like the fight before the co-main. Michel Pereira. Certainly not a stacked pay-per-view, but I mean, it doesn't have to be a stacked card for me to enjoy it. I'll still watch it. The plan is, as of right now, it all depends on how my week goes, but I'd like to set myself up so I can actually do a live stream during the event, which I want to start making a weekly thing. I kind of gotta rearrange my room here a little bit for that and go get a TV and such, but I'm hoping to have that set up by Saturday. All right, I turned it back down a little bit. One nice thing, though, is the UFC does a really good job of putting their content everywhere. So you really don't need to watch the fights every single week to be up on it, you know? Between like the UFC Fight Pass, everything they have on ESPN Plus, and just YouTube in general. I mean, you could... I mean, shit, you don't have to watch any of the fights to be up on it. You could just follow it on YouTube if you wanted. You've been up for 36 straight hours? Holy shit. Yeah, that's obviously, as you know, better than anyone else. That is what I'm streaming off of, is that OBS. UFC Casual, what is up, broski? How is your Tuesday going, bro? How's life in England? TY Bets, what's going on? I don't know if you've ever been in the chat before. If not, if this is your first time, welcome. Welcome. Brandy S says she is not the cause of Eric being up for 36 hours straight. This one today is going to be short and sweet. I probably have like 30, 40 minutes to come on here, jump in and say what's up. I know last time you were definitely in here, Casual, on Sunday, and the fucking video was like dog shit, which it's hard to see if you're not, if you're the one making the content. It's, you know, I could pull it up on my phone, I guess, and see how it looks. Western Mass, what is up, my brother? Said brutally honest MMA raid might be just me. Is that another YouTube channel that was live? Brutally honest MMA. How's your Tuesday going, Western Mass? You're fucking... You thought I was Jesse on Fire? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I am not Jesse on Fire. I am TJ Spartacus, my brother. Yeah, me and Eric, well, mostly Eric, fixed all that shit Sunday. We came back after and got the camera going good. Had to fuck around with some lighting shit, but here we are, looking good. I hope you're not too disappointed that I'm not fucking the Jesse on Fire guy. Brutally honest MMA, I super really appreciate the fucking joining and sub. As soon as this live is over with, I will hop on your channel and do the same. I really didn't have anything planned. I wasn't even planning on going live right now today. I had to do some technical shit. I had to fuck with my camera and all that, and I just wanted to come on and give it a go. So here we are. I appreciate you coming over, though, broski. I seen AJ's going to be going live in a little bit, too, so I'll probably be off about... We'll probably end this around the time he comes on. That Jesse on Fire guy, he's all right. His headlines, and he's like a I think he wants to break into like more mainstream shit too. Like he's all like when all that P Diddy shit went on, he was all commenting on the P Diddy thing, and all his thumbnails and all that are like um clickbait type shit. I mean, he's cool. He makes good content. It's not really my jam. Do you guys remember when him and the Guru they like collabed for like 2 shows, and then I think Guru gave him the boot. I was seeing today, Money Moicano was on Mighty Mouse's podcast, and he was talking about the Guru. Moicano had a good point. He's like I appreciate the Guru. See, I'm not a big Guru fan just because how he shit talks the fighters, but Moicano was, he's like, I appreciate it if he's being honest, that's his honesty. But I don't think he's being honest. I think he's just trying to have like a shock value, like everyone's a piece of shit, everyone's a bum, everything's so exaggerated. I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing, whatever. But he did make a good point in saying that the Guru can take like a 30-second clip and make a 40-minute fucking video out of it, He's just been doing it a long time. This is his jam. When I started this channel, one thing I did to make myself feel better was like go back and watch his like old streams back from when he started like 5 years ago, just to see like how channels can grow, you know what I mean? And it, just like everybody else, he started with a fucking shitty camera and a shitty microphone. Yeah, I'm the same way, T.Y. Betts. I just like, straightforward shit. I'm not too much into clickbaity stuff. I like what AJ's doing over at MMA Experts. It's some pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah, 100%. In fact, after one of his live chats, the Guru did like one of those raids or whatever, and he sent everybody to Moicano's channel, and he got like fucking 5,000 subscribers in one night from that. So, and then Moicano certainly returned the favor when he said his name in a post-fight interview. I had too much Zyn going on. Another thing too, dude, totally not UFC related, but all the card readers in my town are not working. I just went to like 2 different stores and my card got declined. And I was like, oh shit, that's not good. Sometimes your card gets declined and you're like, all right, yeah, I can see that. But today was not one of those days. I'm like, what? And then I went to another store and it got declined. So I don't know if the Chinese are attacking us or my bank's just fucked up. But that's what I got going on today. So what tickles your guys' fancy with this upcoming 301 here? I mean, it's a solid card. I don't think too many people are going to be dropping a lot of pay-per-view money for this one. It'll be the guys who just buy the pay-per-view because they buy it every week. And then, you're not going to get any, you're not going to be converting any casuals with this card. But there's some good fights on it. Like I was saying Sunday, I really don't need to see Jose Aldo fight anymore. I mean, it's certainly a winnable fight against Jonathan Martinez. It's close. It's about even money. I think they have Martinez as like a 135 favorite. But it'd be cool to see Erceg pull it out. I just don't think. I think Pantoja is just too much for him right now. I mean, it's only the guy's what? It's his 13th ever professional fight. I think I don't even know how many fights he's had in the UFC. But Pantoja is a motherfucker. So, and then Anthony Smith, and another guy that's like, I don't know. Seems like a nice guy, but do you really have to keep doing it? Going up against an undefeated fighter. And then we got Michelle Pereira going against Ihor Potieria. That's actually a good fight. I'm interested in that one. But Potieria is a huge underdog. Plus 320. Was not expecting that. Paul Craig against Kyle Barao. That, as someone who loves jiu-jitsu, that one should be interesting. I don't know if Kyle's just going to keep it standing because he knows Paul Craig's, like, best chance for victory is certainly going to be on the ground. Kyle's got some sick-ass jiu-jitsu himself, but I don't know if it's on the level of Paul Craig. That guy's got some, especially off his back from his guard. I don't know. It might be, but the guy sees like it's saying it's the Reddit, and it was like, no, there's no money in here. Yeah, and then my wife was with me, and we're just at Tim Hortons getting coffee, and she's like, well, tell him. I looked on the app on my phone, and I definitely had money in there. And she's like, well, tell him we got the money. I'm like, this fucking kid doesn't give a shit if we have the money or not. Tell him you got the money in your account. Just something's going on with the bank. Like, I could give a fuck. Pantoja by sub, 100%. I could totally see that. I could also see Pantoja just by dominant win. Like all 5 rounds, just outclasses him. Maybe he doesn't put him away. He's just, constantly on him, beating him on the feet, gets a takedown, beating him on the ground. I just think he's an all-around better MMA fighter than Erceg right now. But, I mean, come on. The guy's only got 13 fights in his whole career. "100% Western Mass." I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fight, right? Erceg could absolutely catch him, especially if Pantoja's looking past him, Pantoja's like, oh, this guy ain't got nothing for me. This is a little tune-up fight until Manel Kopp decides to actually make weight. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment, write me a letter, all that good shit. Yeah, Pantoja's like fucking in his prime right now. In his fucking prime. Man, I would love to see. I kind of feel bad for Mighty Mouse. Like finally these lightweight classes are getting a little bit of love. And, he this is all built, bantamweight was built on the back of Mighty Mouse. But I guess he's doing his thing, cashing them checks over in Asia and entering into IBJJF competitions. I don't know if you guys follow this kind of stuff, but Mighty Mouse is, winding down his career, so he decided to take up gi jiu-jitsu, and he's been doing IBJJF competitions, and he's been doing fucking awesome. In fact, he just won, I believe he won double gold at brown belt like a month or 2 ago, and he beat a 250-pound brown belt. And I just seen last week he finally did get his black belt, so that's a whole nother level. But that'd be perfect for him. He's still, and he enters the adult division, I believe. I don't think he's doing masters. I think he's doing adult, which is the best of the best, Western Masses, Pantoja is definitely not looking past Erceg. Pantoja's good. And like I said, I was listening to that Mighty Mouse Moicano interview. Moicano is just such a likable fucking guy. I mean, I don't know if I ever see him holding a strap, but he's like so likable. He just seems like a regular dude, He just wants to fucking pay his bills and beat people up. Locks for 301. I mean, there's some pretty heavy favorites. I think right off the rip, you got to give it to Pantoja. Martinez Aldo is an interesting fight. I mean, Jose Aldo is not what he used to be. And Jonathan Martinez is a tough dude. So, I don't know. I'm not really going lock either way on that one. Anthony Smith is a huge dog. Caio Barrios, I'm sure, he's a minus 450 favorite. I don't know if you ever want to make somebody a lock against Paul Craig because he can just, pull off some crazy fucking triangle after getting his face beat in for 3 rounds. Brito and Jack Shore. See, there's a lot of nice, exciting fights for hardcore fans. Like, Brito versus Jack Shore, that's interesting. I'm all for that fight. I'm not taking a lock in that one. So far, the only lock I gave you, I'm going to have to go Pantoja. Vitor Petrino, I mean, he'll probably beat the shit out of Anthony Smith. And then the rest, there's some, Ishmael Bonfim. He's a huge favorite, though. I'd call him a lock. Not that that's really going out on a fucking limb or anything like that, but after that fight with BSD, he's probably going to be coming out looking for a little get back. UFC Casual says, I want Aldo to win, but I wouldn't recommend anyone putting much, if anything, on him. It's tough. I mean, he's so late in his career, and he really has nothing else to prove. Like, what is he going to do at this point? Do you see him beating guys like Max Holloway now? No way. The elite of the division have passed him by, but he's an all-time great. He has nothing else to prove. Hang it up. Take a page out of Mighty Mouse's book. Go put on a gi and enter some IBJJF tournaments, or just do some no-gi grappling or something if you still want to be competitive. But why take any more damage, And the guy's been in some absolute wars. I was never like a huge Aldo fan. I always really respected him. I've been watching Jose Aldo since back in the WEC days. But to be honest with you, I think my opinions, I want Martinez to win just so Aldo's like, all right, you know what? I got that out of my system. I need to retire. I don't want Aldo to become the next BJ Penn. I don't want him to just keep fighting for the next 4 years. The UFC will never say no to him. He's Jose Aldo. He'll, he can fill up an arena in Brazil and without even trying, coming off a 6-fight losing streak. But I don't need a whole new generation of MMA fans calling Jose Aldo a bum because he stayed on too long and lost his last 4 fights in a row. Casual said he either sees something at 35 we don't, or just has that itch. I think he just has that itch. These guys are competitors at the highest level, and that's their identity. That's who they are. They're MMA fighters. So when that's done, when that's over, it's taken away from them, they have nothing else to do, And a lot of times the guys who are the best competitors aren't necessarily the best coaches. So a lot of them don't, I should say very few of them do, stay in the gym and coach guys coming up and all that stuff. It's like when you have that elite level ability, it's hard for you to put into words to other people to tell them what you're doing because you're just reacting, doing shit in the moment. I mean, a good coach, a good trainer has little to nothing to do with actually getting in there and competing. I mean, John Danaher is a perfect example. The guy is far and away the greatest jiu-jitsu coach in history, and he's never competed once in his life, even in like a small local tournament, ever. He's never competed in jiu-jitsu. And you see this same thing with boxing trainers, and, you know, it's like you would never think, if you were looking at the sidelines of like an American football game, and you're looking at like whoever, the offensive line coach, you would never think like, oh well, that guy never played in the NFL. He can't tell these guys what to do. You'd be like, no, if he's the best guy for the job, if he's great at training offensive linemen for whatever reason, well, sign me up. But in combat sports, for some reason, it's like if guys haven't competed themselves, they don't have the credibility. Especially I've seen this like with jiu-jitsu gyms, you know. A lot of jiu-jitsu gyms will promote. In fact, there's a local gym in my area that put out an ad basically looking for a head coach, and they found this guy in Brazil who's a high-level competitor at rooster weight. He's a tiny little guy, but he still competes. He's like a black belt competitor in IBJJF, but he doesn't speak great English, and he's not a great coach. You know, like, you'd be way better off with someone who maybe doesn't have the competition credentials, but is a really good teacher and knows how to explain things and has a knack for explaining things in a way that people can understand. That this is what is important in a coach, not competing. I don't know how I got off on that fucking tangent there, but he needs a better retirement fight than Marab. Yeah, I could see that. But Jonathan Martinez is a motherfucker. Like, he's no pushover, you know? Bet said the boxing fell through and the UFC offered good money to save the card. I'm sure the UFC fucking gave him a bag. They're fighting in Brazil, you know? But was he lined up for a boxing match, Jose Aldo? Aldo could 100% make a successful gym in Brazil. Absolutely. Absolutely. He could run a success, but he doesn't have to be the coach either. He could just open it up, find guys who are good coaches and hire them to run it, and he just has his name behind it, you know? Or who knows, maybe he is an amazing coach. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, anywhere from 35 to 55, I would say. 55 nowadays with, you know, like Islam is just way fucking bigger than Jose Aldo. But 35 and 45 is his wheelhouse. I mean, he could compete at 155 if he wanted to. I don't think he would fare too well. Yeah. Yeah, he's not like, you know, cutting 40 pounds to make 45 or something like that. He's not a big dude. But I don't know what it was. You guys realize in his career how he like stopped leg kicking for a little while? I mean, he was a ferocious leg kicker. I don't even know how many TKOs he has just from kicking guys in the legs. And then it was like for 4 or 5 fights, he wasn't throwing leg kicks at all. Paku, good to see you, brother. You just woke up, man. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you doing? Paku, I don't know if I asked you this already, but how do you like to wrap your hands? I have boxing on Thursday, and I don't have a specific way I like it. So I've just been asking people's opinions. Also, earlier, T.Y. Betts was asking What's everyone's lock of 301? Paku is my resident MMA gambling expert. He's the guy I go to when it comes to making bets. You guys ever try the Celsius fucking like non-carbonated ones? Oh, they're so good. TY Bets, thanks, dude. I will do that as soon as this stream is over. I will look up Wonder Boy's tutorial on wrapping your hands. I also bought my I'm gonna get my first pair of boxing gloves this week. My very own pair of boxing gloves. Celsius is pretty good. I used to drink those fucking Gatorade Fast Twitch, they were called. And they had like, I don't know, 280 grams of caffeine or milligrams, however they do it. But I think they're going like they're discontinuing them or something because I can't find them anywhere. But I loved them because they were non-carbonated. So before practice or whatever, I could have one of those and not be like burping it up. If I try to drink like a actual fucking energy drink before practice, I'm like burping it. It doesn't fucking sit right. So I asked the lady at the store, I'm like, is there anything here that's like non-carbonated but an energy drink? And she showed me these Celsius, and they hit the spot, bro. They do the fucking trick. It's like, it's supposed to be a healthier option, these Celsius. They're supposed to be like, whether they're carbonated or not, they're supposed to be like a healthier option as far as energy drinks go, I guess. Like, this only has 10 calories and there's a bunch of vitamins in it and shit. Basically, I'm not a big coffee drinker, and I only drink caffeine in the afternoon, like when I get out of work, before practice or whatever. So this is my go-to. On my way to work, I pour a vitamin B12 shot in a bottle of water, and I like fucking chug it. That's my morning coffee. I'm actually drinking this on an empty stomach right now. Fat Boy is fasting, so I'm doing some empty stomach Celsius. But it's not carbonated, so it doesn't. That's another reason why I like non-carbonated drinks, because I drink my caffeine in the evening, like afternoon, like 15 hours into my fast, so I'm on an empty stomach. Eric, I have 12-ounce gloves. I don't know why, but I was fucking watching some video today with these people were making an English breakfast, and that shit had like pork and beans and fucking blood cakes. You eat fucking blood cakes over there? Casual said, I stopped smoking cigs today. Dude, congratulations, man. I feel you. So I quit smoking. I quit smoking cigarettes probably like I don't know, 10 years ago now. But I was always switching back and forth between smoking and actual fucking chewing tobacco. But after I quit, I started the vape thing, and that helped with like the boredom of like feeling like you want to smoke something. I still get that now. In fact, I was working with Eric here. We were fucking with this camera and stuff this past Sunday, and I just had like this urge to smoke. Like, I wanted to fucking smoke something. Just that, you know, putting something up to your mouth and actually smoking it, your brain's addicted to that action. So I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice, but I would recommend getting one of those vape things. Here in the States at the gas stations, they sell like these little ones that are like sticks like this, and they have like non-flavored regular tobacco ones, and those help me out a lot. I do those, and then I just quit smoking altogether. But one thing I found is I quit smoking cigarettes a few years before I started training martial arts again. And one thing I did notice, though, is vaping didn't affect my cardio. Like, I could rip the vape literally walking into practice and then go do like 7 hard rounds. And it wouldn't be like... And then I remember what... There was a Sunday, I went to a Sunday open mat, and we had like, it was just an open mat, 2 hours of straight fucking rolling. And the night before, I had like 3 cigarettes, because I was having some drinks with my friends. Dude, it felt like my whole fucking esophagus was on fire. Dude, UFC casual. I don't have them here, but I am a Zyn addict. I literally put 3 of them together. I put 3 Zyns together and put them in my lip all at once. Because I chewed tobacco so long, I like the feeling of having like a big wad of something in my underneath my lip. So that's why I fucking I like putting them all in there. I saw a Zyn ad and it said, "Sacrifice your gums to save your lungs." Did it really? Did it really? I do the coffee flavored ones. It doesn't burn my gums at all. I mean, sometimes when I first put it in there, but dude, chewing tobacco, that shit burns your fucking gums, man. I was like 21 years old and I had this big ass fucking sore like on my lip. I'm like, dude, they're gonna cut my fucking jaw off if I keep this shit up. So, and then I went to high school out in the country, and chewing back then was like normal. All the guys chewed. Well, then after high school, now I moved back to the city, and I'm like going to the bars and talking to girls and stuff, and city girls weren't too keen on having a big old fucking fat dip in your lip. So then I started smoking cigarettes again. TY Bet says, do you train gi or no gi? I train both, but I prefer the gi. I know it's like everyone in the whole fucking world loves no gi better, but I train judo and jiu-jitsu, primarily jiu-jitsu, but judo twice a week, and I love the gi. For one, it levels the playing field with super explosive athletic people. Like if some guy is a fucking crazy collegiate athlete of some kind and has like very little skill, the gi kind of slows things down and it forces you to do jiu-jitsu. And there's just so many fucking awesome options and shit. I love it. Now, we had this debate all the time, like, oh, well, no-gi is more realistic. I can tell you this. I've been in, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 different occasions where I've been in a fist fight with someone wearing a heavy jacket. I can't think of a single time in my entire life I fought somebody wearing fucking tights. But I get it. When you're in no-gi, you can't rely on, lapel grips and shit like that, which, I mean, whatever. I'm confident enough in my throws that I can throw somebody whether they're wearing a jacket or not. I'll fucking ogoshi your ass. I'll just right around your head and all that stuff. And I don't know. It's personal preference, but like I said, I much prefer the gi. There's so many options. It slows things down. It's more technical, But no gi is super fun too. You just You know, fucking, it's a little more high speed. I love them both, but I'm definitely in a gi fucking. For the past 2 years, I've been like hardcore into the gi. Bro, triple upper deckies. I do fucking bottom deckies, bro. I don't ever put. I I don't ever go upper decky with the Zinskis. UFC Casual said he's going to quit nicotine cold turkey. Good for you, bro. I I hope you do it. I've kicked some shit cold turkey that was pretty rough. Pretty rough. But I've never been able to kick nicotine. Eric said, I can't do the nicotine gum, but I might be able to do Zins. Some cops broke my jaw, and I never got it fixed, so gum messes me up. Plus, dude, that fucking nicotine gum is like... I remember I was at work, and this was like right early 20s, so I smoked and chewed. And the guy I was working with was quitting smoking and gave me a piece of nicotine gum, and I started like... It says there's a certain way you're supposed to use that shit. You're supposed to like bite into it and chew it like 3 times and then stick it in your lip like a Zin. You're not like, the more you chew it, the more nicotine it releases. So he gives me a piece of nicotine gum, and I'm just like chomping on this thing. Then I'm on top of a fucking elevator, like, ooh, all fucking lightheaded and woozy. I'm like, what the fuck was in that gum, dude? I had to go sit down. Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone's like, well, Nogi's more realistic. Do you ever see the goofy shit people wear in Nogi? I was at a tournament last year, and there was a grown man wearing spats and a shirt that made it look like he was a hot country chick wearing like Daisy Duke shorts with overalls. Like that's what his spats were. It was like his shirt was like a woman's body wearing overalls with no shirt underneath, and she had like big boobs, and then he was wearing these tiny little shorts that were like, Daisy Dukes. Like, bro, you better be really fucking good at jiu-jitsu if you're going to show up to a tournament looking like that. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you wouldn't do good with nicotine gum then, because you're not supposed to chew that shit. I should chew more gum. They say that it helps, like, chewing gum is good for you. It builds, like, jaw muscles or whatever. Makes your face sculpted and gives you a strong jaw. So we're 10 minutes. We're going to go for another 10 minutes. We'll go to 7 o'clock here. Fucking, so what made you quit nicotine, Casual? Any particular reason, or you just don't want to fucking die of lung cancer? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, when I kicked that other shit, I had no choice. My life was in shambles, and I was fucking at rock bottom. Like, all right, you better shit or get off the pot. That's exactly like you said. That's the problem with nicotine, is it doesn't seem like an issue until you're about to die. I acknowledge him, Casual. Don't don't ignore our buddy Western Mass. Mm. Yeah, cigarettes will certainly fucking kill your cardio. Do you do any training? Do you train any martial arts, or you just work out? Fucking hit the treadmill? What do you do? Man, this does look pretty good. Much better than it did before. Now that we fucking move shit around, I gotta get one more picture for right here. You guys excited all for the boxing match this weekend? Fucking who is it? Canelo and I don't even know. Paco will probably tell us. Chewing gum is good for fighting. Improves your chin, helps you bite down on your mouthpiece and take shots. Is Max Holloway always chewing gum? That's why he's awesome? I need a picture of DC from that Popeyes commercial. I do love DC. He's a fucking I love that guy. Casual said I do work out mostly cardio, but way too inconsistently. Yeah, dude, for me, like I said, yes, Hami Mangia. That's who Canelo was fighting this weekend. See, I don't follow boxing as closely as I follow MMA, obviously, but for a fight like that, I will definitely be watching. You guys ever check out his name's Showbiz the Adult? He has a YouTube channel. It's all about boxing, but during the fights, he does a live stream, and it's fucking awesome. His YouTube channel got me back into boxing. I used to love boxing when I was a kid. Before, like right around the time I became like real hardcore into MMA, my uncle, actually my great uncle, was a huge boxing fan, and they would have Friday night fights on ESPN every Friday. And I remember on Saturday mornings, I'd call him, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, did you see that Mexican guy beat the shit out of that other guy?" And that got me really into boxing. And then that was like during the Klitschko era. They were just so boring. And it's like boxing goes the way of the heavyweight division. If the heavyweight division is exciting, then the whole sport gets more exciting. But it doesn't seem like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I really don't know enough about the sport. But I can't think of a time, maybe other than the 80s, when there was no, like, one big time. There was not a big time heavyweight to carry the sport, but it was still super popular. But in the 80s, you had, like, the Four Horsemen or whatever they call them, with Hagler and Hearns and Sugar and Roberto Duran, and those guys always fighting each other. TY Bet says dropping picks for Canelo and 301 tomorrow or Thursday. On your, are you dropping picks? Do you have a YouTube channel? Casual said, I did get some Nordic Sprint nicotine pouches in case I do want some nicotine. Yeah, try it out, man. If you get like a real hard fucking craving, like you're fucking agitated and shit, pop one of those little pouches in and see if it takes the edge off. 11 milligrams. That's not a little. It's a weird way to say it, but I get like the Zins they sell come in 3 and 6, and I put in 2 3s and a 6 all at once, but I've like built up to that, So I would just do one pouch and then take it out after like 10 minutes or so. The 90s had some good boxing. Yeah, like Roy Jones and shit. Mike Tyson was already like once the 90s really got rolling, Mike Tyson was pretty much done. So I was talking with my partner at work today, and he's a boxer, a big-time boxing fan. And I watched a digitally remastered footage of the fight between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman in Zaire. And there's certainly a difference when it's one thing to watch it like where they add color to it. Eric would probably know better than me when it comes to this shit. They did something to make the footage look like it was filmed with a camera today. Like if you watch the original footage, it's kind of like choppy and they're moving weird, but they remastered it so it looked like it was filmed with a camera today. And I'll tell you, dude, George Foreman was a terrifying, terrifying human being. And Muhammad Ali, the way he moved for a heavyweight, like holy shit, dude. I was glued to the TV watching this fight, and I knew what happened. I say all that to say, after watching it, I told my partner at work that I think George Foreman or Muhammad Ali could come into the heavyweight division today and, you know, if not take the title, fucking dominate. Like, they looked like killers out there. Killers. Granted, it's like a whole new athlete now, like the way they train and all that shit, but I don't know if there's a human being alive other than Muhammad Ali who could have took those shots from George Foreman. I mean, the dude was an absolute monster, and he hit like a freight train. Like, I'm willing to bet that George Foreman hit harder than Deontay Wilder. T.Y. Bet said, yeah, bro, on my channel. Boxing way more stacked in the coming months, to be honest. Till Islam's fights or McGregor card. Yeah, dude, I'll fucking check it out. Is your channel the same as your username here, T.Y. Bets? I'll check it out right after this. UFC Casual said, I like watching old boxing matches, but the cam quality annoys me so much. Yeah, it's definitely a factor because we're used to watching footage like at a certain speed and quality nowadays. So when you watch like those, fights that are filmed with those shitty old fucking cameras, it's like annoying. But look for a digitally remastered version of Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. It was fucking insane. I don't know when Fury versus Usyk is. That's a good question. I'll look it up for you real quick. May 18th. It's a Saturday. I don't know like what time and all that shit, but yeah, Saturday, May 18th, Fury versus Usyk. There's some good boxing going on. I haven't watched much old boxing, but I remember my dad bought a VHS of the Thrilla in Manila. Hell yeah, dude. It was awesome. And the whole like story behind it, it was some good shit. I would love to have been around back then to see it happen live. Yeah, Fury fights May 18th. And there's another big boxing match too. Isn't Bivol fighting Beterbiev? When's that? Fuck Wilder. I can't stand that dude. He's not a boxer. He's a puncher. Let me see if I can find when that June 1st in Saudi Arabia. That's Better Biev versus Dmitry Bivol. That should be a good one. I wonder what the odds are on that. Paku said, I disagree. I think Fury, AJ, and Usyk would smoke Ali. A new generation or athlete and technique. They would just go body a lot when Ali doing all his crazy head movements. Maybe. I mean, you know more about this shit than I do. I was just, like I said, I was just impressed with how impressive his movement was watching it like in real footage. And I'm going to be honest, like I said, my partner at work is a boxer, and he said the exact same thing. He said that he doesn't think Ali or George Foreman would fucking even come close to the championship. Kambosos is fighting Lomachenko. Are both those guys kind of on like the downslide now? I know Kambosos, he was kind of like I said, I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know my boxing that well, but it seemed like his win was kind of like a one-off. Didn't he have a I forget who he fought, but I know he was a big underdog and he was not, and he pulled out the win, and then Lomachenko just been out there fucking dudes up for years. I can understand that too. The sport has also evolved, and just athletics in general. Guys are just bigger, stronger, faster. We know the best practices are just more refined, Guys know how to eat healthier and all that shit. I was just listening to an interview with I'm not going to be able to think of his name, but he was just on the Lex Friedman podcast, and he was a high-level judoka back in the 80s. He was like an Olympic-level judoka. And he was saying how there was, like, nutrition wasn't even a thing. Like, so long as you weren't malnourished and you were eating, nobody even thought that, like, oh, I should make sure I'm eating the foods that, like, optimize my body for the best performance. Like, we didn't even think of that. However, John Danaher believes that diet has little to no effect in athletic performance. Isn't that fucking crazy? And I'm not making that up. You can go look his in fact, I think that was on the Lex Friedman podcast too. He was on there with Gordon Ryan, and he said he has seen the highest, like, athletes at the highest level have terrible diets and it not affect them. What I'm wondering though is if those same athletes who had shitty diets that are performing at the highest level, would they be even better if their diet was on point? And we're just seeing that they're just so talented, it doesn't matter. They're great, despite having a shitty diet. Big Country. That dude. He's actually like a really good fucking jiu-jitsu guy. That's how he got into MMA. He was a black belt in jiu-jitsu before he even had a single fight in mixed martial arts. I don't know if I've ever seen him grapple. I can't think of a single time. I know there was one fight that he knocked the guy down and the guy went to like turtle and he jumped on his back and put his hooks in, but then he was just beating the shit out of. In fact, that was Mirko Krokop. But I don't think I've ever seen Big Country like actually doing jiu-jitsu on the mat. All right, boys and girls, if you're in here or you identify as one. It's 7 o'clock. I got to roll. I appreciate everyone stopping in and saying hi. Like I said, I really just wanted to come on here more than anything and make sure that my video is up and good. My microphone sounds nice and all that good shit, and get a little practice creating some content. But I appreciate you checking the page out. I'm trying to line some shit up this week so I can go live during UFC. Hopefully that happens. If not for 301, then most likely the following week. But either way, I will be live for some upcoming UFC event. But until then, I'll see you guys. Be safe, be good, and as always,